Now we'll practice Ardha Uttanasana. So have your blocks in front of your feet, which are hip distance apart. Activate, energize the legs, thighs back, hands on hips, chest open, shoulders back. Lift from under the heart, and then exhale, bend your knees as you crease at the hips and bring your hands to the blocks. So don't let the spine round at all here. Don't tuck the pelvis or tuck the chin, but rather bend your knees and lift the buttocks, lift the sitting bones, and stretch the front ribs forward to open the chest and look up. Widen the collarbones, elongate the belly, elongate the front of the spine. Stretch through the elbows, straight arms here. And keep those knees bent if it helps you keep the buttocks lifting. Stay grounded in the inner feet as much as the outer feet. Pubic bone reaches back, inner thighs reach back. Slide the front of the rib cage forwards and breathe here. Pull the outer hips back, pull the upper inner thighs back, pull the rib cage forward. Deepen the thoracic spine into the body towards the chest. And then release the hands down to the floor as you bend the knees deeper and fold deeply, taking rib cage towards thighs, releasing here. And then hands to hips, stretch the chest forward, shoulders back, and come up. Now we'll practice Ardha Prasarita Padottanasana with a twist in the variation. So have your blocks ready on the highest height. Stand in Tadasana in mountain pose. Take your hands to your hips. Lift the spine from bottom to top and step your feet wide with the heels wider than toes. Internally rotate the thighs, ground the inner feet, pull the thigh bones back. Shoulders back, and then stretch the arms out. Lift the side ribs and reach the right arm to the right and the left arm to the left. And then hands back to hips, and then crease and fold at the hips, bending the knees so that you can lift the buttocks, lift the backs of the legs, and lift the buttocks up. Bring your hands onto the blocks, and then lift the left hand up towards the ceiling so that you come into a twist. Keep the knees bent, the buttocks lifted, the front of the spine long. Have a back bend feeling in the upper back. And turn the belly and the rib cage. Lift the left arm and left shoulder up. And then exhale and come down. Rest your left hand on the block and lift your right arm up to come into a twist on the other side. Groins reaching back, buttocks lifting, front of the spine lengthening. Stretch the right arm up, stretch the right shoulder up, and turn the belly, turn the rib cage. And then exhale and come down. And then hands to hips and stretch your chest forward and come on up. Now we'll practice Supta Padangustasana. So lay down on your back and have a strap nearby. And release the flesh of the buttocks away from the lower back. Thighs are parallel. Inner thighs and groins are relaxed. Pelvis is heavy and relaxed, and stretch your arms overhead along the floor to lengthen the trunk, lengthen through the waist, the armpits, the abdomen. Lengthen the front of your spine and stretch and extend your elbows. Open the hands and the feet. And then take your strap and place the strap over the right heel. And then start to stretch the left leg along the floor. Internally rotate the left thigh. Lengthen the spine headwards. Let the abdomen be relaxed and long. Elbows wide, shoulder blades sliding down the back. Kick your right heel up to open up the back of the right leg. Internally rotate at the very top of the left thigh and pull the right outer hip away from the right waist. So you can keep your right knee bent a little bit, that's fine. Just kick your right heel up so that you're feeling an elongation of the back of the right leg. Imagine the back of the right knee spreading and opening and lengthening. And breathe into the sensations here. Here you can imprint a long spine and an open chest even while you're stretching your hamstrings. And then bend your right knee, bend your left knee, both feet flat, stretch your arms overhead, neutralize and lengthen the trunk. Relaxed in the pelvis area. And then lasso the strap over your left heel and kick your left heel up towards the ceiling. Pull your left outer hip away from the left waist. And internally rotate the right thigh as you start to stretch your right leg long. Ground the right thigh bone down. Be long in both sides of your belly. Elbows wide, shoulders moving down towards the sticky mat. Kick the left heel up to spread open the back of the left knee. So the knee can stay bent, but energetically lengthen the left leg. Rolling the right thigh in, pulling the left outer hip away from the left waist, organizing the tissue and the bones and the muscles here as you stretch, creating order and length. And then bend both knees, feet flat, reach your arms up overhead. Parallel legs, relaxed in the groins. Now we'll practice Supta Padangustasana 2. So have a blanket and a strap with you. Lay down on your back, knees bent and feet flat, neutral pelvis. And stretch your arms up overhead along the floor and lengthen out your trunk as you breathe. And then make sure that your folded blanket is to your right. And lasso the right heel with your strap. Stretch your right leg up to the ceiling and then stretch your left leg long. And just start to extend fully the backs of the knees if you can. And now bring the blanket close to the outer right hip and hold on to the strap with your right hand only. Spread the left arm to the left and start to open up your right leg out to the right. So the blanket is supporting you underneath the outer right thigh. Keep the left leg extending. And think of the low belly spreading to the left to balance out the right leg going to the right. Long in the abdomen. And start to notice the way that that right thigh is rotating in the hip socket. If you rotate it in slightly, you might get a very different stretch in your inner thigh. If you keep your leg at around the height of the hip, it will be different than if you pull the right leg up towards the armpit. So breathe here as you explore stretching different parts of the inner thigh. Stay grounded in that left thigh. And then inhale and come up to center. And we'll switch sides. So place your blanket on the other side, so it's to the left of you, and lasso the left heel with the strap. Extend the left leg up first, and then extend the right leg. Internally rotating in that right leg, outer left hip pulling away from the left waist, backs of the knees opening, long in the spine, shoulder blades sliding down the back. And then pull the blanket towards the outer left hip very close, and grab onto the strap close to your foot with your left hand only. Spread the right arm to the right, spread the low belly to the right as the leg opens out to the left. And experiment here with rotating the leg so that you can turn in slightly. A little bit of internal rotation in the hip socket or a little bit of external rotation in the hip socket will give you a different stretch. It might stretch different parts of the inner thigh. Grounded in that right thigh, even in the waist. Right and left waists are long, long abdomen. And then bring the left leg all the way up to center. And release, bending the knees, feet flat. Now we'll practice Upavishta Konasana and have 2 blocks and 2 blankets with you here. Stack up your folded blankets as you see here, so you will be sitting on the corner of the blankets. And have 1 block in front of you and 1 block behind you, like you see here. And then sit on the corner of the blankets and stretch your legs out to the sides. And now use your hands on the blankets to lift yourself up and get your buttocks more behind you. So this is important. Pull the flesh of the buttocks back so that you feel like you're sitting more on the front half of the sitting bones. So you don't want your pelvis tucked under you at all. So the buttocks is pulled back. And then hands on the blankets, fingertips pressed down, shoulders back, lengthen the trunk, lengthen the rib cage, lengthen the spine, lift the spine from bottom to top and balance your head right over your pelvic floor and start to straighten the legs, extending the legs even more, grounding the thighs down. So the inner thighs are descending, the feet are active. And now start to twist to the left, taking the right hand onto the block in front of you and the left hand onto the block behind you, keeping the legs firm, the inner thighs grounded, the tops of your thigh bones grounded, the low belly lifting. Twist the belly, the rib cage, the shoulders. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to deepen the twist. Press down into the front half of the sitting bones. Twisting all the way to the other side, left hand on the block in front of you, right hand on the block behind you, and turning. Grounded in the tops of the thighs, lifted in the low belly. Turn the belly to the right, turn the rib cage to the right. Turn the right ribs back, left ribs forward. And then release and come back to center. Once again, press your fingertips down to lift the trunk again, staying grounded in the legs. Breathing here. And then bend your knees to come out of the pose. Now we'll practice a lovely, simple version of Supta Baddha Konasana without any props. So lay down on your back and adjust the flesh of your buttocks so it moves away from the lower back. And then bring the soles of the feet together and the knees open. And we'll do this with no support so that gravity is your prop here. Gravity is what's helping you and informing you in this pose. See if you can just surrender your legs to gravity. And let your shoulder blades slide down your back and then stretch your arms out in a Shavasana position so that you can relax here. Let your trunk and spine be long. See if you can breathe here with your whole body. Relaxing the pelvis and the buttocks, relaxing the groins. Feel where your body is making contact with the floor. Contact with the sticky mat. And then start to lift your knees up. You can use your hands to help you if that feels right. Feet flat. And then roll over to your side to come on up.